Hey everybody, it's Chimichanga the Fox here. Welcome to another ChimiChats. This is episode number 2. You liked episode number 1 like so much that I'm, just keep them coming. And what a great guest I've got lined up for you today. She's the hostess with the mostest. She's like the super critical mind of the furry world. Please welcome Aberguine. Welcome, Aberguine.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, all the way from that weird place, Texas.
Yes, indeed. Keep Austin weird, y'all.
Yeah, Portland's weirder, right? We're not going to have that competition.
Well, I mean, you know that Portland actually kind of stole Keep Austin Weird from Keep Austin.
We're done now.
Whatever.
No. Okay, for those who don't know, Aberguine runs a really great web series called Furries in the Media. And it's a really cool, critical web series, and it's not your usual furry vlogging or lip syncing or dancing. I mean, I'm not saying that that's bad, because I do it too. But, it's just something a little different. So, Aberguine, tell us about Furries in the Media and how you got started critiquing the way that furries are portrayed by, the press.
Well, actually, exactly like you mentioned, I had actually mentioned in a previous Q&A video that I've done, maybe we can link to it or something. I had just seen a lot of other furry channels would just do like random vlogging or dancing, or it felt like kind of fluff content. Fluff, get it, because we're furry. But
yeah, I like that.
Otherwise, I felt like I wanted to do something that had more meaning, more depth to it, and maybe even be thought-provoking. And after being in the fandom for, about 7 years at this point, I had been hearing people within the fandom saying, oh, well, the media is always putting us in a bad light, and da-da-da-da, and not that I doubted that or anything, but I was wondering how much truth there was to that claim. Was the media always going to put us in a bad light? Was there any sort of a change or anything? And I definitely think that these days, the media has definitely begun putting us in better light. But I think the biggest reason why I started the channel was I realized that the fandom's image has a long way to go, and I think the best way to improve the fandom's image is to improve the relation between the public and furries, and I think starting that conversation where people are most likely to have heard of furries and critiquing why it's wrong or why it's right, I think that's the best way to reach out to people. So,
and the really awesome thing about your series is, you started off with some of the obvious ones. So like you did the MSNBC laughing hysterically event that was connected with the chlorine attack.
yes.
And obviously that was fairly well known. But you've managed to dig through some really awesome clips that I'd never come across before.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Doing this series has introduced me to so many different things that I didn't even realize had furries in them. And honestly, when I started this series, I was like, oh, there's going to be maybe 20 or 30 clips. Nope, there's this entire just library. It's just crazy how much there is out there.
So tell me, I gotta ask you now, Aberguine, seriously. Have there been any clips that you're like, no, not going there? You did the CSI episode, I think. And I don't think there's been any, but I'm curious. Are there any clips or any shows you're like, not going there?
For the most part, I've had people recommend, I won't name names, but it'll be a YouTuber whose channel is, the whole point of their channel is to, pick on other people, and, he gets picked on. And I don't see a point in going after, individuals, because I feel like everyone has a right to their opinion, and if someone hates furries, whatever, I kind of don't feel like it's my responsibility to change that individual's viewpoint. I feel like my responsibility with my channel is to just make this information known, and if people want to change their minds, here's the information for it. Otherwise, if not, I'm not going to touch that,
That makes total sense, actually.
Yeah.
I
generally try to be non-confrontational. I know it's kind of diametrically opposed to what the whole point of my channel is here, but, I don't like getting under confrontation if I can help it. So,
All right.
there you go.
Okay, and I know I didn't ask you this question. I told you we were going to go off script a little bit, but a follow-up question to that with my my journalist head on, because for those who don't know, I actually am a journalist. I write about cars for a living in my day job. And my follow-up question to that is going to be, are there any countries or places in the world where the furry community is treated with more respect, and like any that are well known for being, well, crappy and douchey towards furries?
So far as the international clips that I've done, I haven't really done as much research into those as obviously as I have with the English ones, but generally the consensus seems to be that almost every other country outside of the US that I've done a clip for, so that would be Australia. I think there's been one from Europe, which I realized I was kind of hard on Russell Howard there. I'm honestly thinking about maybe revisiting that video, and maybe some other ones where I got like a few facts wrong or whatever, but generally they seem to be pretty open-minded about it. And maybe that's just the clips that are just there, the most public ones for that country on the surface. Who knows? But I mean, well, if there's furries in every country, I feel like there's bound to be some group of furry haters out in the country, and who knows. But
yeah, I gotta agree with you there.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, obviously coming from the UK originally, not me. Obviously, the breaking character a little bit. The person behind me, she comes from the UK, and I think furries are pretty well viewed over there. I haven't thought of anything really bad lately. I know Russell Howard is he's kind of like that with everything. So yeah, I think I'm glad to be good to see what you come up with in the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on a little bit. You hinted earlier on that you've been in the fandom now for 7 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you could give me a little bit of background as to how you came across the furry fandom. I mean, like, you're practically a gray muzzle, right?
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't really know exactly what you have to do to be classified as a gray muzzle, but I mean, whatever. No, but so 7 or 8 years ago, so that would have been the spring of 2009. So a little bit of background even before that. So a couple of years before that, I had started, well, even longer before that. Let's just go all the way back to the very beginning. So my mom and dad met, no, I'm kidding. Not gonna go that far.
This is a family show. This is SFW. I know I curse sometimes, but you gotta keep it clean, Aberguine. Come on.
No, but as a kid, I grew up liking animals, thinking that watching a bunch of nature documentaries, spending a lot of time outdoors as a kid. I was a 90s kid, so animals were always really cool. I know, right?
I'm a 70s kid, so I can't complain. I'm a late 70s, early 80s, so whatever. But carry on.
So started learning how to draw. Never really learned the human face, but just kind of stuck with animals. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a comic strip like Jim Davis or whoever. And, when I got into high school, I mean, this was well into, oh gosh, what did they even have? It was like just past dial-up, but, a little bit better than dial-up, but not fantastic or anything. And finally got into the concept of webcomics, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing! You can, skip the whole publisher and having to go to the news source and everything, and you can just do this. That's amazing. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start drawing my own webcomic and all this other stuff and blah, 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 blah. And then I realized that I had no story to work with, but I was like, well, shoot. But I've at least got characters, so I came up with a character for myself. And for the longest time, she just didn't have a name. But then about maybe a year or two after I had come up with this character, I was just yakking on and on about my comic strip. And one of my friends just point blank asked me, are you a furry? And I mean, I had known before then that I was browsing furry webcomics, and I was like, I thought the concept was pretty cool, but otherwise I had never applied the term to myself. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I am a furry. And from that day on, that was pretty much how I joined the fandom. So
that is awesome. I'm coming back because I had some camera problems there. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
My camera stopped, and you just carried on talking, which was nice. And I'm back now, which is good. I have a cheap camera. It stops every 8 minutes,
Oh, God.
So, That's a really interesting story, and I like the webcomics. So it comes back to, do you follow webcomics now? I mean, what comics are you interested in? What's your like your top pick?
Oh gosh, I haven't really been keeping up with a whole lot of webcomics recently, but I know I'm bad. But
life, adulting, right?
Right.
Researching and writing furries in the media. I mean, come on, this shit doesn't write itself. I just said a bad word. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
We can bleep that out.
You're from Texas. You can take it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, some of the ones I would definitely keep. Well, the one that got my interest, have to give props to, is a Domain of Our Own by Susan Rankin.
Yeah.
What?
I can't think now, but I know what the one you mean. Yeah.
But yes, and Vinci and Artie. So yes, major props to those two. Those two were really freaking cool. And then some other ones I followed were In Town and Lackadaisy, because who doesn't follow?
Right.
And I thought Two Kinds is pretty cool too. So,
the one I like the most is Curtailed Comic, which is an ongoing one now. And it's really fun, actually. The couple who run it are more into cosplay than furry, but their main their characters are represented in the comic as furries, and it's just great. They're just great artists, and it's really worth a look. I love that one.
Okay, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah. And so you started the YouTube series, right? Which I think of as TV now, because, that's how all the kids consume stuff. I mean, Jambalaya, she's like always on her phone, like all the time, man. I mean, if I want her to do anything, it's like, hey, Jambalaya, what? Can you help me? Yeah. Well, you gonna help me now? In a bit. I mean, that kid, if she's not fursuiting, or she's on her phone. I mean, it's like crazy. I mean, never mind. Anyway, so you came up with the idea of the series, and you did some research while you were waiting for your suit to arrive, right?
Yes, indeed. That is exactly what I did. I don't know. I had gotten the idea to do my own furry YouTube channel, which actually, my first iteration of my YouTube channel was not going to be, like, specifically Furries in the Media. The Furries in the Media thing was just, like, a side project. It was going to be more of the traditional, like, furry vlog. But I wanted to talk about topics that, again, most people weren't talking about. And then, I don't know, I knew that I wanted to do the CSI episode. Like, no doubt in my mind. I had to do the CSI episode.
Fur and Loathing, right? That's
exactly.
What we're talking about.
It's it's such a classic for maybe not so classic reasons, but say.
I think though that my favorite episode for you was the one where you laughed out loud, very loudly. You have a very nice laugh, and you were very you were laughing lots because a bunny suit had come around. We first saw it in the Texas Storage Wars episode, and then I think we saw it a couple of weeks ago in one of your most recent episodes, and we're like, that's the same suit!
Exactly, it just goes to show how much effort some of these people put in, or lack of effort that they put in, and it's just like, come on, there's more than just the Easter Bunny out there, I promise you,
I've worked in TV, and I know how fake it is, and it once did a pilot episode for a TV show that never got made, like never became aired, and it was a pilot promo, and the amount of faking that we had to do, and it was supposed to be a factual TV show, the amount of faking that we did just completely turned me on. I can't watch TV much anymore, because I'm like, yeah, it's fake.
Yeah.
Even the factual stuff, it's fake.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's sad, but there we go. And so your suit and your Sona is very specific to you. So you're a fox, right?
Yes, Aberguine is a silver fox.
Yes, and I am a Kitsune, which you wouldn't know, but it makes me very magical, and it does mean sometimes I have trouble hiding my tail. So when I'm in human form, I still have a tail most of the time. That's how you can figure out who I am, and I'm always happy. But your suit was made by More for Less, right?
Yes, it was.
And tell me a little bit about that process, because people always want to know about ordering fursuits, and I know that you've done an FAQ on it before, but let's talk a little bit about it now.
Okay, well, so I think as I'd mentioned before, when I first became a furry, I didn't immediately want a fursuit. And I think this might have been because at the time I didn't spend a whole lot of time online. I was still in high school, trying to get through and then later on, that's another story for another day about how my want for a fursuit kind of changed over the years. But
you know what? It took me 17 years to get a fursuit. So,
Yeah.
I was in the fandom for 17 years before I got a fursuit. So anyway, carry on.
Oh, yeah. Well, but I wanted to make sure that I, finished school, got a good job, got a roof over my head before I got my own fursuit. Because, priorities. And, guys need to keep that in mind. Rent is a little more important than a costume. I will tell you that right now.
So important. And a lot of furs forget it. I know people in the furry community who are like, I don't have any money, but I'm going to spend my last $20 to get a bus to the local fur con. I'm like, dude.
Oh, unless you're going to meet someone there who's going to take you in for free, don't do that.
Get a job. Stop freeloading. Okay, I know furry is fun and it's a distraction from the real world, but the real world still exists. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Aberguine, 100%.
Yeah. So finally got past all that. Decided I was going to get a fursuit. So what I went ahead and did was I did my research first. Because, hey, guess what I do with my show? That's what I do. I try to do some research. Not a whole lot, but it's there.
You think first. Yeah.
So I knew what I wanted for my fursuit. And I knew, specifically what styles I was okay with, what styles I was not okay with, what features I wanted. And then I looked for fursuit makers who fit that criteria. So
perfect.
Don't look for the fursuit maker and then see if they're going to fit your criteria. Look for your criteria first and then see who's going to fit that. That would be my biggest advice to anyone looking for a fursuit. One of those biggest criteria being your price range. You cannot go outside of that. Do not fool yourself into thinking that you can get a suit that's 10 times more expensive than you can get. Don't do that.
Or that you can get a really good suit for nothing. I mean, I've heard from a lot of fursuit makers lately who've been having trouble with people coming up to them and going, hey, will you make me a suit? And they're going, yeah, I'll be $1,500, $2,000. And they're like, I can't afford that. Well, that's how much it costs.
About to say, actually, I even tried just looking into what it would cost to make my own. And with all the materials that I had to buy, so I'd have to go out and buy a sewing machine and other one-time use tools that I probably wouldn't use outside of making a fursuit, it all came to about $500. So if someone is trying to tell you that, I'm not going to pay $500 for a fursuit head, then, I mean, come on. There is a price, there is a minimum price that you kind of have to expect to put into a fursuit. But that point aside, so to get back to your original question of how this all worked out. So, like I say, I found the criteria. I knew what criteria I wanted for my fursuit. I went ahead and I looked for different makers. More for Less was one of them, and there were maybe 5 or 6 others. Then what I did was I got on Twitter. It was actually an old Twitter account that I was using for school, and I just cleared everything off of it and kind of redid it as Furry, and just started following only those 6 people because whenever they put out their quote commission form. If I can talk today.
That's okay. I know, it's just so exciting talking to me. I have this effect on people, Yeah. It's okay.
So, and Twitter's the best way to keep up with that. So I highly recommend get on Twitter. Don't bug them with oh, hey, are you open yet? They don't want to hear that. No, just don't do that. Get on Twitter, just follow them. You can even turn on notifications so that when they make a tweet, you get a buzz on your phone and you will know. So that was how I kept up with More for Less. They opened up their commissions in September of last year, and I went ahead, contacted them, and got a slot. And then about April of this year, my fursuit came in. So.
Yay.
Yeah.
And there's a really cute unboxing video on your channel.
Yeah.
In which you really nicely, you keep the head until the last bit, which I think is fun. And the really nice thing about that unboxing video is and it's something I wanted to talk to you about was character development. So the Aberguine we see today, and you've said this to me offline, it's very much a furry version of yourself, right?
Exactly.
And And Chimi is not. I mean, Chimi is not really like the me underneath. So I'm interested to see the difference, because when I see you the first time you put Aberguine on, your behavior was very different to how we see online today. And I know the same is true for Chimi, not necessarily this version of Chimi, but the first version of Chimi. He was very playful and very goofy, and he didn't talk. And so I'm curious to know how that evolution occurred for you.
Okay. Well, as you probably know, like you said, my fursuiting video, my unboxing video, gee, again, words, I stumble on them. Like, as soon as I put on the head, well, first of all, I was just in awe because, I just got my fursuit, just been waiting 6 years to meet my baby, and, well, not for the fursuit to be made. I'm just clarifying that now. I had people being like, oh my god, you had to wait like 5 years for that?
No.
It was not even a year for the suit.
6 months. Yeah.
Gotta clarify that. But I knew that for a long time I wanted a fursuit, and I figured that gonna be kind of me, but with fur. So that's kind of her is. She doesn't really have a character backstory. I've never actually sat down to write one. The closest I got was writing down like a list of like characteristics, personality traits, I guess. I don't know. Here's a fun factoid about her. She doesn't get car sick. I do in real life, so that's fun.
That's cute. That's cute.
Yeah, so she doesn't have to worry about that, but she does wear glasses, so it's a trade-off for everything, But definitely happy-go-lucky, fun-loving, oh gosh. Almost a little embarrassing for me to even admit, but I do actually do some vocalizations. I haven't really had any opportunity to take Aberguine out in public to fursuit. The closest has been like maybe at a friend's house or so, but usually they just know it's me. So I'm currently undecided as to whether or not I would talk in the suit when I'm out and about. I mean, if it's something like an emergency of like, oh my god, I'm going to die of heat stroke in 2 seconds, yeah, I'm gonna yell. But beyond that, I'm not really sure if that's gonna be part of the character or if it's gonna be quiet and.
Oh, that's so cute. That's adorable. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things I like doing so much is switching between my character voices when I'm in suit, and it really screws with people's heads on a regular basis. I talk because I went out with a bunch of furs, and there were a couple of people handling, but they weren't very good at handling, and they weren't very communicative. And so when people came along and said, hey, what are you doing? This only says so much, so I kind of developed a voice out of that, and I haven't shut up since, actually. QueenieDeerhart, which is my other character, she's in development, she's being made, and she's going to be fully articulated, so she's going to talk all the time, because she doesn't shut up, even more than me. So, but I am actually looking at a Dutch angel dragon that does not talk completely. So, it's the first person I've told.
Oh my god.
There you go.
You heard it from me first. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, you heard it from you first. Anyway,
Okay.
I just absolutely adore the tongue. Was that something that you came up with as part of your character design, or was that just something that more for less? Because I know they do it with other tongues as well.
Well, this is something that I did only for more for less. I saw that they did this, and I was like, you know what? I want that. That would actually be really cool.
That's cute. I
think as y'all probably noticed if y'all watched my other Q&A videos, someone had asked about the evolution of my persona or how I wanted to get a fursuit. I think I mentioned that the very first time I wanted a fursuit or realized that I wanted a fursuit, I was like, no, every fursuit ever is like way too cartoony and da-da-da-da. And I want something that's like super realistic, like ears are articulated so they'll move on their own and all this other stuff. And one of the things I thought would have been really cool was to have a tongue that would and I could move it on my own or whatever. And I guess that's still kind of a remnant of wanting that here. So, but yeah. And I'm probably like the only more for less suitor I can think of who does not have the movable eyebrows. And I'm just like, well, I'm brilliant. So there you go.
Well, it's funny because I'm probably the only, I think I am the only Ocnus fursuit without eyes. And without actual painted eyes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Actually, no, because Chimichanga's daughter, Jambalaya, obviously has the same thing. But there have been other things that I was like you. I wanted a fully realistic suit, and I never expected Chimichanga to come along, and he came along, and I was like suckered. And that's been it from now. You know, he's just come along from that point. But Queenie, I originally wanted her to be fully realistic. She's a border collie, so it had to be just right. And I'm actually now working on a toonie design for her. So people's ideas change, I guess, over time. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So, Aberguine, I want to know what else you're going to be working on. You are currently working on Furries in the Media. You've done a couple of crossovers. You did one with Rusty Shackleforth of Culturally Effed. What else is in the pipeline for you? Looking forward.
Not really a whole lot else at this moment. I am going to be doing a small-ish little Christmas video. Nothing too crazy, but...
Yay.
But yes.
Your Halloween video, by the way, totally rocked. We have to promote that. It was just cute. And warning, you get to see Aberguine outside of her suit. But that's okay. That's fine.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely had a lot of fun with that one because I am a horror film fan in real life. I don't know about Aberguine. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But I definitely wanted to play around with kind of both styles. Definitely the campy, goofy, fun, silly kind of part of it. And I figured, werewolf transformation with a fursuit. I mean, how difficult could that be? It was just perfect. It just, the idea just came to me and I was like, I have to do that. And then I wanted to play it up where it was actually kind of serious. And I've had people tell me, hey, I was actually scared watching this. And in all honesty, right at the very end where the camera angle changes and I'm standing in front of the chair, honestly, I look at that and I'm like, am I about to hang myself? And I'm like, wait, I shot this. What the heck? So there you go.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It was brilliant. I can't wait to see the Christmas video. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got a couple of plans to do some stuff, including another motorcycle video, but not yet. I did a motorcycle video recently where I did like a suit up into motorcycle gear, and then it became furry gear, and it was kind of cute. Nice. But where can people follow you on the YouTubes and the social medias and stuff like that?
So you can find me definitely here on YouTube. Maybe we can put up a link to that or something. You can find me on Twitter. You can find my Facebook page. You can find... Furry Amino, of course. You probably saw I did a promotional video for that. I actually enjoyed doing that. If you want to sit here and bitch about how... Sorry. If you want to sit here and complain about how, I'm getting paid for it, well, wasn't that much to begin with. So, there you go. But I actually enjoyed doing it, so... And I actually enjoy using Furry Amino. So again...
I'm on it. I don't use it as much as I should. But that's probably because I'm not a smartphone person. You see, I come from an age when computers... had keys and stuff, I don't like using a cell phone. I have 2 pairs of glasses, and so to use my reading glasses to use my cell phone, I forget it. Yeah. So, Furry Amino, YouTube, you're on Twitter as well.
Yes, indeed, I am on Twitter.
Anywhere else?
Google Plus, but I haven't really been active on there for very long. And Instagram. And Instagram, I'm probably just terrible about it. It's like so every Thursday and Friday there's a promotional post, and it's pretty much the same picture every week. So, but when the next video is coming out, if you follow me on any or all of them, just
I look forward to Friday, because Friday is the day when your new videos come out.
Yes, indeed.
And around about the time you publish is about the time that I've finished filming my daytime. I'm a YouTuber in 2 different ways. I'm a furry YouTuber. I'm also a YouTuber for my day job. And my day job video is filmed on a Friday very often. The big one with like the studio and the virtual cameras and all that stuff. And so I just finished filming, and you push it up. So I kind of start the video ingestion process and press play. I've picked up your tongue twistedness, and then I just watch your video. So yeah, it's a great lunchtime treat. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that works out for you.
It's
always really encouraging to see people posted like, yay, it's Friday! It means Aberguine's gonna put out a new video! And I'm just like,
it's just so well researched. I mean, it's not like any of this shit that I do where I just like talk. I mean, this is all like, I improvise a lot of this stuff, but you actually sit down and work it out and do a script. And I actually write scripts for my daytime shows, and I know how hard that is.
Oh, yeah.
To write a 10-minute script is like a day's work if you do it properly. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't really try to go for any sort of time limit or time minimum or maximum on it. I just go by what's there, what's brought up. I know there's been a couple of times where I'm not trying to hit like a minimum, like I said. So I know there was one video where I was reviewing it, and I found myself stopping, like looking for different points to review, and I was like, okay, I'm saying the same thing in a lot of these, so I mean, I'm just gonna like cut half of this and say like 3 things, and the video is gonna be short, but it'll work. I'm not having to repeat myself. It's pretty much gonna be the same score anyways, so there we go.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, Aberguine. You're guest number 2. I got some great guests lined up. I'm not going to say who they are, because I've learned in my other YouTube channel, sometimes if you say who the guest's going to be and then they can't make it, people get really upset. But thank you for everyone at home who's been sending me suggestions about who I should have on this show in the future. And over the holiday period, I am actually going to be doing more recordings. I've got 2 or 3 other guests lined up. If you've got anybody you want me to interview, just at me on Twitter at Chimichanga the Fox, or leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel and Aberguines, of course, and give us thumbs up and thumbs down. Tell everyone about both channels, because, you know, Aberguines' channel totally rocks. It should be at the top of your subscribe list, and I mean that sincerely, because there's only so many furry dance videos you can watch. I mean, seriously.
Watching one
and
right
con
now.
videos. So, put it at the top of the list. You can watch MFF videos anytime, or Anthrocon videos, or Euroferns videos, just, you know, anytime. But you should watch Aberguine every week. And I'll be back soon with another episode. Aberguine, we're recording this just before Thanksgiving, so I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving with your family. And we'll be back with another episode. So thank you again, Aberguine. Thank you for watching, everyone. And until next time, stay cool, man.
Have fun.
Bye.
Stay awesome, y'all. Bye.